So hi, Dave.
Howdy.
We're here at the Bitwig stand, and you've got a new modular environment, right?
Yes. So with Bitwig 3, what we've been focusing on is something we call the grid, which is a modular sound design environment that fully modular, and like our focus in general on workflow, trying to be fast and easy and actually fun, so that no matter the level you're starting at, you can get into things pretty quickly. So from inside the environment, you have a library of modules to work with, 120 of them at last count, and then from within there, infinite ways to interconnect them, and a number of quick gestures, so however you're working with it, becomes simple to switch things out, change your sound relatively quickly. Yeah. So it appears in 3 different devices we've got at this point, whether you're building different kinds of synthesizers or droning environments, or just trying to do audio effects of your own, put your own sound into something for performance. There's 3 different grid devices to house all of this, and that's the focus at this point. Yeah.
So what are the three different grid devices?
Well, the 3 that we've got are called. We've got the polygrid if you're trying to do a standard polyphonic type synthesizer, respond to multiple notes at a time. Monogrid, well, just one voice, whether you're building a monosynth or something that might be more interesting to me, like a drone type of environment, so a performable patch. And then effects grid, so whatever audio is being passed in, you're making your own unique processor before it's sent back out.
You say it's quite easy to build one up. Could we attempt to just build one quickly?
I think, yes, let's do that. The cake has not been pre-baked. So, if we call up a polygrid, and I'll go ahead and solo this for a moment. Once I go into the environment, it already has simple and straightforward, an oscillator, an envelope. Some of these connections that are common, like the envelope coming from the keyboard, is pre-wired, so you don't have to have wires going across the whole patch.
And is polyphony unlimited on the polygrid? Or
not any more than our other instruments.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's the same as everything else. So from in here, whether we're doing some quick sound design touches, or say I've got something that's rich enough, now I want to add a filter, I could just go up to the filter section, drag one in, and if I position it onto a patch cord, I don't have to create any patch cords. It'll wire it straight into the patch for me. Like the rest of our environment, I could even take some of these modulation signals and have them control parameters that don't have input ports on them. So I could just directly have the sound change, in this case, from the envelope itself. So you get different types of morphing effects.
So even if we don't have an effective kind of CV input, we're still able to modulate controls.
Exactly. Every panel item can also be targeted by the modulator system that we've had forever. And our new control devices, whether they happen to be an envelope or a step sequencer, they all have that direct modulator built into it. So you can then just automatically say how much to adjust any parameter as things go along. And it's funny that you mentioned CV, because one part of our system, like the rest of our software, is that it can inherently take a CV input from an outboard system or return any signal that you like as a CV output, just assigning the port directly and saying, oh, well, I want you to go to this output of my interface. So essentially you're building one big patching environment.
And do you have to use a DC coupled audio interface to do that?
It would support AC things, but I know there's some trickery on hardware involved to do that. So it actually has a switch here, so depending on the situation you're in. For most people it'd probably be DC, but you can try it all. Yeah.
Excellent. And does it come with Bitwig 3?
Yeah, this is a primary feature of Bitwig 3, is the grid and these new devices that we've got here going. So, yeah, if I were to, if I were to run the development environment. So Bitwig 3, its main focus is the grid. So in incorporating this modular workflow, this whole patching environment into anything. I mean, it all goes back and forth. It's an inherent part of Bitwig 3. So if you've got plugins, they can still modulate back and forth. If you've got sample accurate things that you want to trigger, the grid can just be powered directly by your transport. So it'll keep you locked in whatever you've experimented and built with the patches. But yeah, that's the feature, and the public beta will be out there pretty soon.
And what is the price point of Bitwig 3?
If you're new to Bitwig, it's $399 for a license, including any updates that we do in the next year, whether they're minor updates or huge updates. So if you bought it today, it would include 3 and any subsequent releases in the next 12 months.
Excellent. Yep. Well, Dave, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming by.